because I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to kind of go over what we're doing this week and answer any questions that you guys might have. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to be here in ManageBack. I know that mine looks a little bit different from yours, but hopefully it's close enough that you can figure it out. So this unit is all about the way that people communicate in businesses at lots of different levels. So we're looking at how the business as a whole communicates their ideas. We're looking at how the like owners of the business communicate things to their employees and their investors, and also their consumers and their customers, their clients. And then we're looking at how individual employees also communicate those things. So we're looking at how all of these pieces work together. And it's not this perfect little like diagram of like first this person communicates, then this person, then this person. It's all intertwined. And so we have to kind of juggle a couple of different things here. So the first thing that we did last week was I asked you guys to go online and look at an existing business, find their mission and vision statement and their core values, and then look at the ways in which they communicate those ideas to the various people, to their employees, to their customers, to their clients, to their investors, all of those different people. And everybody chose their business. You explained a little bit about what that business was all about, and everybody did a really good job at identifying the mission and vision statement and core values. A couple people missed talking about how the business communicates those ideas. So if you're not really sure if you're like what impacted your grade, that could have been it if there were some things missing there. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper into that today, like all of the different ways that businesses communicate these ideas. And then your task, your first task for this week is to think about your own business and start developing these core values, this mission and vision statement. So when we think about core values, we talked briefly about this last week. I think a couple of people offered definitions, maybe Lucas, or I can't remember who I called on. We were like, what is a core value? Well, it's something that's really important. It's obviously valuable. It is something that maybe impacts the way in which we behave. Like if I believe that stealing is wrong, then I am probably not going to steal something. If I believe that honesty is really important and someone is dishonest to me, that is going to impact my relationship with that person. And hopefully that means that I am going to practice honesty. So when we think about businesses, we have a lot of different values that we can consider. A business does need to be sustainable. So at some level, they do have to make some kind of money. That doesn't mean that they can't be a nonprofit. You can still make money as a nonprofit organization. All that means is that any excess money that you make or that your company makes, you just reinvest that in the baseline of the business. So it means that people aren't getting huge bonuses or whatever, but you know, your people can still get salaries and make money, and you can still produce products and things like that. It just means that you're not having, you know, all this extra revenue. So the business has to be sustainable, and that's definitely going to be a piece of that puzzle. But as many of you mentioned in your papers, that's not the only piece. A lot of businesses are going to be really focused on their clients and their customers and what their needs are, especially if you are creating a product for a specific type of audience. Then you really want to think about what does that audience want and need. Other values that you guys identified in your papers were like environmental issues, like the company cares about sustainability, they care about supporting pro-environmental things. They offset their carbon footprint in different ways. Some of you guys, your companies valued not just what the consumer needs, but their whole consumer experience, like that customer service piece and providing good service. And so when we start thinking about our own core values, I'm going to click on this task here, and I linked several resources here that you can click through. So this one gives a broad overview of that mission and vision statement and a rationale as to why, how to create that. This second one, if it will load, come on, you can do it, also talks about those mission and vision statements and why we use those. The third one here, again, that how to write a mission and vision statement and why they matter. And this one also has some examples, so I thought that that was helpful. You can't really write a mission or vision statement until you know what those core values are. So you have to think about, like, if I were to own my own business, what are the things that I would care about? And there's not really like a right or wrong answer. Just be honest with yourself. Think about, you know, what you would want, what kind of companies you choose to, you know, shop with, and whether or not their core values influence you. I think a couple people, maybe it was Lucas. Lucas, did you do your overview on a bicycle company? Lucas, I don't know where Lucas went. But one of them was talking about just that personalization. And so we're thinking about what those core values are and how the company upholds those values as well. So then we're moving into this mission and vision statement. And a lot of times these mission and vision statements are seen as superfluous or unnecessary. They're like, oh, that sounds good, but what does the company actually do? Oh, Lucas says his mic doesn't work, but yes, he did his on a bike company. Okay, thanks, Luke. Yeah, so creating this mission and vision statement should be more than just writing a sentence that sounds fluffy. Like, it should be goal-oriented. So for the purpose of our class and kind of what we're doing, I really want to separate what a mission statement is and a vision statement. So if we take this big picture, let's go to one of these documents here. Oh, sorry, that was just a picture of Dragon Age. Let's go to this one, creating a mission and vision statement. So if we look at this big picture, we can start by creating a vision statement. A vision is your ideal stretch goal. So think of something really big. It may not be something that you could attain in a short period of time. So this is kind of what separates this from a mission statement. So a vision statement is your dream. It's your ideal. Like, what would be perfect? If your company could have this huge impact on the world, what would it be? This is your dream. This is your stretch goal. This is what you're aiming for. So the vision statement of our school, of SAGE, is IB for all, basically. We wish for a world where every student could get an IB education. That's what we want. Now, is that something that we as a shush. I don't want to go to Uber, shut up. Sorry. Is that something that our little school could accomplish all on its own? Probably not, but it's something that we can start. And so that's kind of what you want to think about when you're thinking about that vision statement. So these are big ideas. So there are some examples here to help you make this connection. So it should be this big idea that's shared by a large group of people. It's broad, it's very inspiring, and it's easy to communicate. So like somebody did theirs on Apple, I think. And Apple company is going to have Let's just go to their website. Apple.com. And let's check it out. Apple in business. See if we can find like about Apple. That's what we want. Events, Apple leadership user, maybe here. Let's do Apple mission. Okay, bringing the best user experience to its customers. And oh, so we believe that we're on the earth to make great products. So maybe that's part of their mission statement. Again, it's about stretching it and really giving the company and the people like somewhere to go. That's the growth mindset almost. So when you're thinking about your vision statement, think about that. Now the mission statement, this is the next piece. And this is where you start to, as it says here in the article, is to make it practical. This is sort of the action piece. What is it that your company is going to do to actually try to achieve this vision? What kinds of actions are you going to take? Well, we're going to provide, you know, like the best customer service, or we're going to provide, you know, we're going to use sustainable products. We're going to do the things. So at our school, for example, our actual mission, the action piece, is we're going to engage students within an inclusive IB learning community and challenge members to take risks and continue and contribute locally and globally through open-minded inquiry. So we have a lot of action words here. We're engaging people. We are taking risks. We're challenging people. We're contributing. So these are the action pieces of that mission statement. So again, these are some kind of guidelines to help you. It should be concise. You don't want it to be too wordy. It should be outcome oriented. It should be like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to achieve this. It should be inclusive. And so here are some examples of some mission statements. So why do companies make these things? Well, this is something that helps bring everybody onto the same page. So whenever you have a group of people, it's a lot easier to get things done if you have a shared goal or a shared idea. And the bigger your group is, I would say the more specific your shared goal needs to be at every level. So within this unit, within Unit 3, we're really talking about group communication. And group communication is almost always to solve a problem or to achieve or accomplish something. So you can even take a small group. Let's say we have, you know, our mountain biking club or a Frisbee team, right? Like you have a sporting team or a music group, right? You have to have a shared goal. If everyone is working towards completely different things, then you're never going to accomplish anything. So it's really important for every type of group to create some kind of goal. And in the terms of a business, you really need to do that through a vision and a mission statement. So these are some of the reasons why we should have a clear and compelling vision statement and why we should have a clear mission statement. So our vision statement is what could be. If you guys remember, we watched that video of the woman who did her TED Talk, and she was talking about great speakers and how they motivate us and inspire us to what could be. So they talk about what is and then what could be. The same thing is true for a business. We want to really inspire people of what could be and show them a path to actually get there through our mission statement. So how do you go about creating vision and mission statements? So the first thing that you need to think about is what kind of company that you're going to have and who would be kind of part of that community. If your business is going to be a physical brick and mortar type store where you're going to sell products or services, then that's going to determine what your community is. If you choose to have it in Boise, or if you want to, like, you know, maybe you're thinking outside of the box and you're like, man, when I graduate high school, I'm going to move to, you know, Pennsylvania, and maybe that's where I'm going to be an entrepreneur and start a business there. Or if you're going to have a virtual business, that definitely changes the type of community. So you need to think about what is important to the people in that community. Think about specific groups, and start visualizing like who that ideal group member is going to be, because that's going to lead into our next formative, which is identifying your stakeholders and your target audience. So please take the time to read through this document. It is really, really helpful in walking you through this process. You need to decide what is the general focus of your organization, and then start writing, brainstorm, write a bunch of stuff down, even stuff that's really bad. You've got to get those ideas out of your head and onto paper so that you can really find the good mission and vision statement that you really, really want. Remember, the vision piece is that inspiring, reach, stretch goal. And the mission statement is that action. So when I owned my own massage therapy business back in 2011, my vision statement was essentially to create a healthy life for people. And so that was like my really, really broad vision statement. I want people to be healthy. And then my action piece was delivering exceptional customer service and clinical massage therapy to achieve that healthy life, essentially. And so that mission statement is that action piece. What is it that you are going to do? And my core values included things like excellent communication with my customers, my clients, excellent customer service in addition to that communication piece, educating them, providing a relaxing environment. So take your time to go through, especially this article. These other resources also are really helpful. They just sort of reiterate what we've been talking about and provide additional reasoning and rationale behind a mission and vision statement. And then the third article is going to give you a bunch of examples. Let me go down. Here are a bunch of examples, okay? So the Alzheimer's Association, their vision statement is a world without Alzheimer's, okay? Cold Stone Creamery, the ultimate ice cream experience. So these are all vision statements, those stretch goals. And then we have mission statements. What is it that they're going to do? Like this company, we deliver technology that solves problems in an uncomplicated way. CVS Pharmacy, we will be the easiest pharmacy retailer. That might be a little bit of a vision, but sometimes these terms are used interchangeably. Microsoft, to help people around the world realize their full potential. Again, kind of a vision type statement. They could be more specific. Oh, I think somebody actually did their paper on the company Patagonia. So there are some examples of mission and vision statements if you're like, man, I don't even know what words to use. So that is your first formative of the week. This is due tomorrow by 11 p.m., but I'm not going to grade it until Thursday. So you have a little extra time there. The next formative task is to start thinking about stakeholders, target audience, advertising, those kinds of things. So the next piece of the puzzle is to try to think about who are all of the people in your business that your business might interact with on any level. Who do you consider to be appropriate stakeholders in your business? So I'm going to switch my sharing, and I am gonna share with you, but I'm gonna do it on like a whiteboard so that we can draw pictures and stuff. Okay, so we're going to think about all the various types of stakeholders that we could have, okay? All right, so first off, what is a stakeholder? Who can give me a definition of a stakeholder? Anybody want to just throw it out there?
I can try. I believe a stakeholder is basically someone who buys shares in the company, so they invest in you in order to.
Okay, that's definitely one example of a stakeholder. Investors, that's definitely a type. These are people who invest or contribute something. They could contribute money or time or resources into your business. So let's break this word down. So we have the word stakeholders. What does the word stake, S-T-A-K-E, what does that mean? It's not the kind that you eat. What is a stake, S-T-A-K-E? Everett, what's a stake?
It's sort of like, I want to think a chunk of something. Because
Okay.
whenever like you stake out land, you're staking out a chunk of land. Or stakeholders are like if somebody, an investor might buy a part of a company.
Okay.
So whenever I think stake, I think of like a part of something.
Okay, yes, okay. Anybody else want to add to that? Maybe Emma, what's another way to think of stake, S-T-A-K-E?
Like kind of having ownership of something, I don't know.
Yes, yes. Have you guys ever been camping? What do you use to hold your tent down?
A stake.
A stake. Okay. So when we think of this stake, this word actually comes from that same kind of root word. It's something that holds something down, right? It's an important part of the foundation. So if you think of your tent, I'm going to draw a little tent here. So here we have, come on, work with me here. No, I want to draw. Okay, here we have our tent flap. Isn't this a lovely tent? We can even make it a little 3D. Okay, if we don't pin down these corners and any kind of weather comes along, our tent is gonna fly away. So we have to pin it down. This creates that foundation. And in terms of our stakeholders, oh, now I can't edit. In terms of our stakeholders, in terms of our business, this is anyone who has an interest in the success of a business. Okay, this is anyone who wants the business to succeed. So this definitely can be investors. They definitely want the business to succeed because they have contributed actual money, time, or resources to basically pinning the company down, right? We also have the owner or the owners. Whoops. They started the company, right? So they provided the main tent, right? It was their idea that they created. So who are some other stakeholders? Who are some other people that care about the business succeeding? Who else wants the business to
Could the customers be considered stakeholders?
Absolutely. Customers are definitely stakeholders, right? They invest time and money by buying the products and services. Lucas said the employees, yes. So customers, they want the business to succeed because they want to buy the cool stuff. Okay, I'm gonna add this piece, employees. Okay, the employees want the business to succeed because they get paid and they also get the benefits of participating in that organization. And then probably at a really broad level, we also would say that the community in which the business exists also wants the business to succeed because in general, this is good for the economy. Okay, and that's good for the community. So we have all these different types of stakeholders. Sometimes when we think of stakeholders, we only think of like these investors right here. No, what I wanted to do. So we only think of like these people, but we also want to think about these people, right? These people are also stakeholders in our business. Feel free to screenshot this, I guess, if you want to keep it. I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds if you want to screenshot this. Everybody good? Okay, moving on. That. Go back to my regularly scheduled program. Okay, so now here we are in our task. Okay, so you need to consider those various peoples in your business. And then who do you consider to be appropriate stakeholders in your business? Now, obviously you aren't going to know like specific names of people, but let's say you decide that you want to create for your company, you know, a mountain bike business. Oh, the other, I can't believe I forgot this. That was so silly of me. The other type of stakeholder would be the, like the manufacturers and the people that you purchase things from. So the suppliers would also be considered a stakeholder. They definitely want your business to succeed because that helps contribute to their business. So if you have a bicycle company, you obviously need suppliers. If you are going to build custom made bikes, it's really unlikely that you're going to manufacture all of the parts in your own place, but maybe you are. But you need to think about where you're getting all of those supplies. If you're selling inventory of any kind of product, where are you going to get those things? If you are making some kind of clothing, where are you going to source your materials? So you need to think about all those different levels. Who are those people? Who are your stakeholders? Are there people that might invest in your business? Yeah, possibly. So you can think about those types of people. There are a lot of venture capitalists out there that want to invest in small businesses. You might have groups of people who might want to invest in your business, but then also think about who are those employees going to be? Who are those customers going to be? And try to describe your customers in as much detail as possible. So let's say for funsies that Emma is going to create a really cool water bottle company. So she's thinking about the suppliers who are going to supply the products that she's going to use, maybe the manufacturing company that's going to manufacture the water bottles for her, and then she's going to create this little shop to sell these awesome water bottles that, you know, save the turtles or something. Now you have to start thinking about your ideal consumer. This can be really, really difficult because part of our brain is like, I want everyone to buy it. Everyone needs a water bottle. Everyone can use a water bottle. Yes, that is true. And there might be lots of different types of people who buy that water bottle. But I really want you to think about your ideal customer. Who, if you could only market to one type of person on the planet, who would that person be? What are their hobbies and interests? What kinds of things do they care about? How much would they be willing to spend on their water bottle? Now, sure, lots of other people might buy this water bottle, but like, who is that ideal person? Who are you trying to really hone in? If you could craft an ad for social media and it only appeared on one person's account, what would that person look like? How old would they be? What gender would they be? What ethnicity would they be? What socioeconomic status would they be? Okay, I really want you to think about that, because this is going to help you craft the types of communication that your business is going to use for our tasks next week. Because next week, you're going to have to start thinking about how to communicate these ideas. So maybe Emma's super awesome water bottle company is going to market to 28-year-old females that live no further than 20 miles from the ocean and have a passion for sea turtles, like Visco Girls. This could be a good example. For, you know, who love the color purple, and I don't know. You want to try to be as specific as possible with your who your ideal customer would be. And then we start to extrapolate out from there. Okay, well, if the 28-year-old, you know, Pacific Coast, you know, girl is going to buy this water bottle, then who else might also, you know, be kind of interested? So you start narrow and be like, this is my 100% ideal customer. And then how can we make that more broad? So think about that. Who would your main customer be? And then talk about ways that you can start to advertise that person. Oh, well, I would try to connect to their love of the ocean. I would try to connect to their sense of compassion for the sea turtles. I would try to connect with their, you know, values of sustainability and environmentalism. I would also be conscious of their income level. At 28, you're probably, you know, not making six figures yet, even at, you know, even at the best socioeconomic level, unless you're really, really, you know, in the 1%. So think about that. And then for this particular task, you're going to write a couple paragraphs to explain who those stakeholders are. You can just be like, oh, here are the types of, you know, manufacturers I would use and why. Here are the types of investors that I would probably have and why. Here are the types of employees I would have and why. Write me a couple of sentences about, is there one group that's more influential than another? And this kind of connects to what a lot of you were talking about in your paper. Some companies like Amazon, I can't remember who did their paper on Amazon, the customer is definitely more influential than any other group. So that certainly informs their decision. This could be why Amazon doesn't give a crap about their employees, because they want to make things cheap and accessible for their customers. And apparently one way to do that is by exploiting their employees. So think about, is there one group that's more influential than another? Then write me a couple of paragraphs about who that target audience might be, and ways in which you will advertise or communicate to those individuals. So this whole entire formative might end up being about a page, because if you have a couple paragraphs about your stakeholders and then a couple paragraphs about your target audience, then it might be about a page typed. And that one is due at the end of the week, Friday at lunchtime-ish. And this piece is going to move us into next week, where we really start bringing these things together and we start talking about all the ways in which a company communicates these ideas to their various stakeholders, the different people, their customers, their clients, and whatnot. And this will help you start building that communication plan. So I mentioned last week during class that most people do their communication plan as a Google Slides. And if you use all of these formatives that we are doing, these are going to essentially become the various pieces of your communication plan. So you're going to have a short overview of your business. Google, stop listening. Shut up. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. So you're going to have a summary of your business. You're going to explain your core values, your mission and vision statement, then your stakeholders, then your community and target audience, and then finally give an example of a type of advertisement that you would do. So those are the various pieces of your communication plan that you're going to be working towards. And I showed you guys an example of what that could look like. If you need another example, just email me and let me know, and I can certainly put up another example. But that's pretty much the way that we are progressing. So next week, we're going to be looking at, oh no, I lied. Next week is Home Fort. So you guys get a week off from speech. So please participate in Home Fort. I'm doing a hand lettering and calligraphy for it. Feel free to join me. The following week, starting on Monday, May 18th, this is where we're going to learn more about our stakeholders and advertising. I will go ahead and put those resources up probably on Sunday or Monday, but nothing's going to be due next week. I just want to make it available for you if you happen to have some extra time. And then we will not have school on Monday the 25th because that's Memorial Day, but that following week, the 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th, your final business plan will be due. So everything should be finished at that point, and it'll be due on the 28th. And you don't have to sign up for any speeches or anything like that, because you're just going to send me the slides, and you either need to do one of two things. Let me share my screen with you again. Let's go out of my arts tab here and into speech tab, unit 3. So let's say this is your presentation. At the bottom of your slides, move this out of my way. Move out of my way. Okay. Oh, I need to make a copy of it. This was Annette's. So once you have created your actual slides with the information, you need to do one of two things. You either need to record a voiceover of you presenting it to me. I don't know how to do this totally in Google Slides. I know that you can do it in PowerPoint. But the other option is to type your notes here. This would be exactly the words or script you would say if you were presenting this in person. So underneath each slide, you would type your notes of exactly what you would say if you were to present it face to face. And I know that there's a way to, there is a way to add audio. So you can add specific audio, and I am wondering if there's a way that you can, I'll have to look at this. Next week I'll find the tools and present view. I'm wondering if there's a way that we can record the audio here. Pause, reset. I don't know. I'll play around with it and find out if there's a way that we can record the audio as well. But you can also just type your notes at the bottom. So then you would turn this into me and I would be able to read your script at the bottom. Obviously, another way that you can do it is to just present it and video record yourself if you want to. But you will have to turn this in by the end of May. So by Friday the 29th at noon is when that video would be due. And then we just have a few short weeks left. So we're actually going to be skipping a whole section, which makes me kind of sad, but that's what we need to do because online learning and all that jazz. So I'll be giving you that information for our very, very last unit. Any questions about anything before we go today?
Like with the paper, is it still like double spaced? And format?
I'm not 100% sure what you said. I think you asked, does our paper need to be double spaced? You mean
Yes.
your the formatives for like your core values, mission, vision statement, those things?
Yeah.
So I'm not grading your formatting, so it doesn't totally matter, but I always prefer things to be double spaced just because it's easier for me to read.
Okay.
For those two formatives, if we go to our screen share here, this is our unit. So we have your core values, and mission and vision is under criteria A, analyzing. And then your understanding stakeholders is producing text, but it's more about the content of it. I'm not necessarily looking at the format per se. I'm looking at like, are you producing a work that demonstrates a high degree of insight? Imagine, like, have you thought about who your stakeholders are, who your audience is? This piece, this indicator number 2, is talking about like, how are you communicating to those people? And are you thinking about like, oh, yes, this is a core value and I'm gonna try to connect with them in this way. So I'm not necessarily grading your format. It's more of that connecting to your audience, if that makes sense. But yes, standard formatting is always preferred, 1-inch margins, 12-point font, double space, typed. Always good for that. Other questions? Those were good questions. I'm sad that nobody decided to share their beautiful face with me on this Zoom meeting today. I'm sure your hair isn't that bad. I love seeing you. Oh, yay, Ryan. I love seeing you guys. Well, I thought Everett was going to share his video for a second, but or maybe Ben, I don't know. Oh, yay, Everett is kind of sideways. I'm not sure what's going on there. And Lucas doesn't have a camera. He's just on his listening device, apparently. All right, cool. So yes, if you haven't yet turned in your other formative, that is your short response paper, please get that turned in. Everybody, all of you guys are doing so awesome. You are not missing anything in this class, which I really, really appreciate because pretty much everybody else in the class is missing at least one thing. So good job. You guys get hypothetical gold stars today, high fives, virtual hugs, all that jazz, because you are on top of things. Everett and Ryan just need to turn in their short response paper, but you are definitely going to do that. And I feel confident that you're going to get that in. So yay, keep being awesome. Enjoy the beautiful weather and email me if you have any questions. I will still be here on Thursday for the first 15 minutes. Next week, obviously, we won't have class at all because it is home fort. And then I think we will most likely just go to 1 day a week class on Tuesdays after home fort. So keep that in mind if I need to change that for anybody, okay? All right, guys, I heart you all. You're amazing, keeping awesome, and I look forward to seeing you either in home fort or the following week, okay? Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Ben, bye, Lucas, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.